South Park Season 21, Episode 5, Hummels and Heroin. Hello everyone, Stevie here. Once again, I am back. It is Thursday. It's time for the South Park Season 21 review. This week, Hummels and Heroin. I'm going to try and do something different this week. I'm going to try and do this all in one take. Will it be done? I doubt it, but let's go. The story: Heroin is killing the masked entertainers of South Park, but why? Season 21 continues on with what has been a pretty good season so far, where the writing has went back to the old school South Park style. That means no more long storylines, rather we are back to amazing satire, short, enclosed stories that mirror what's happening in life today in 2017 and all the great South Park comedy that people think it was missing in the last series, but I digress. This week we are looking at the opioid issue, which has had a crazy amount of coverage in the last few weeks, and for good reason. But before I go into this, let's have a look at the episode. So before we get into the story this week, we have some new characters this week. We have Marcus, who's a kid, who seems to act a bit like Quincy, and we have the evil Mrs. McGillicuddy. So, the story. We start at this new kid, Marcus, and it's his birthday, and he's having a birthday party, so we start at his birthday party. His dad has got an entertainer for the party, and it is Chuck E. Cheese. Yay! Chuck E. Cheese comes on stage, but man, he is a wreck. He pukes in his mask, he can't play his guitar, he eventually just basically collapses from an OD, and he dies in front of everyone. It turns out this is another entertainer's death from the evil heroin. The cops are all talking about it, they're like, where's this heroin coming from? And the cop says, well, it's coming from the prison. But little do they know, or maybe they do, that the prison is actually the nursing home where Stan's grandpa stays. Not only that, Stan's grandpa is involved, and he has turned Stan into a drug mule. Later, Stan turns Butters into a drug mule, which is funny. But for the start, Stan is a drug mule, he doesn't know about it, and this is the story. The old people's home is where the heroin is coming from. It's a pretty good twist. So while Marcus is trying to find the source of the heroin epidemic and stop it, Stan and the boys are trying to work out how to stop the heroin coming from the nursing home. Of course, Stan finds out that he is part of the trafficking as he gives a crocheted pillow, which is what he uses to traffic the drugs out, I think. He gives a crocheted pillow to a masked entertainer called Sviper, who then dies of an overdose, and that's how everyone knows Stan's involved and how it's coming from the prison and how Stan was this mule and all that stuff. I could go on. The nursing home is being run by the evil Mrs. McGillicuddy. She is the top bitch of the nursing home because she has the biggest collection of Hummel statues. You know the ones, little Hummel statues, like little fishing boy, naughty kid. Nah, they're pretty crap. Old people like them, but hey, they're a thing. And by having the most amount of these things, it makes you the top bitch who is controlling the drugs going in and out of the home. I mean, it's a bit of a crazy. I don't know how the Hummels play into it at this point, but we'll get into that later. Mrs. McGillicuddy is controlling the prison by her intimidating behaviour. She has a gang of cronies, and she has her top weapon, old woman farts. That is explained as the type of farts that only old women can do when their muscles get loose through age and they just come out. These things stink, and she uses them to scare her enemies' families away and terrorise everyone else at the home. As I said, at this point I was unsure about how the Hummels play into everything here. I thought they were the way of getting the drugs into the prison, as during an autopsy they found a statue up the now dead Peppa Pig's ass. So I thought it was like, that's how they were getting the drugs in and out. We will find out though. In the end, Stan cannot deal with this himself, so he goes to Cartman for help, as he needs to get into the home and get control of the Hummels to save his grandpa and to stop the drug epidemic. Cartman for a second's like, nah man, that's impossible, before instantly saying, no actually, that's totally possible. Cartman's plan is brilliant. It is for the boys to pose as a barbershop quartet. So they dress up, they've got little cute tashes, they've got a suit on. At this point, the quartet is Kenny, Kyle, Cartman and Butters. Stan has his own little mission. It's quite funny, there's a really good little bit where they go into the nursing home. They say they're here to entertain people. The nurse behind the desk's like, so are you from the Young Protestants? Cartman just replies, yeah, we're the young prostitutes. She just rolls her eyes and lets him in, as you would do. Great. So the kids take the stage and they are there to entertain with the cutest covers of some brilliant songs. So they start with a cover of Insane in the Membrane. It's like, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. There's Milkshake, brings boys to the yard. And To top it off, this is the one that totally broke me. I was in tears laughing at this bit. They start singing Nirvana's Rape Me of all songs. So you got the kids singing the Rape Me lyrics. I was like, what the hell? This is insane. While they are singing, Stan is looking for Mrs. McGillicuddy's room, and he liberates the Hummels. By the time Mrs. McGillicuddy finds out what has happened, Stan has all the Hummels and has gave them to Grandpa. McGillicuddy confronts his Grandpa, and it is now we find out what the power or the Hummel statues are. Grandpa picks them all up. They're in a bag. He picks the bag up with all the Hummels in it, and he just beats the living crap out of Mrs. McGillicuddy and her cronies before going back to beating up Mrs. McGillicuddy even more. But all the nursing home, and they're all jubilant that this evil bitch is getting knocked off her perch. It turns out the power was that they were the best weapon, and the more you have, the heavier a weapon you have. That was it. It was that simple. So that was it. The end. Mrs. McGillicuddy has been sent to the solitary, aka quiet room, and Grandpa is now top bitch, and he is in control of the nursing home. I don't know what happens with the drugs. I don't know if Grandpa's stopped the drug dealing happening, but Grandpa is now top bitch. Yay! And Marcus, well, the episode ends a bit strange because Marcus, he obviously got a clue, a hint. He's like going to try and find where the drugs are because he's Mr. Investigator. We just see him on stage, and it's at a doctor's seminar. They're like talking about pharmaceuticals or something like that. And that's it. It just ends there. So it ends with Marcus confronting the doctors about drugs, which is where the issue does actually lie. So to sum up the issue, yeah, I really like this issue. It's a really good topic, this. It's a topic that is so relevant just now, especially in America. In Britain, it's obviously an issue all over the world. In Britain, the NHS, that's our health system, kind of knows how to deal with this a bit better. In America, people are just left to die, basically. It is crazy. As I'm saying, I'm getting carried away on this issue, because it's an issue I've been researching loads lately. It was a great episode, really funny, some really good moments. Funniest moments are probably Peppa Pig was dying. Marcus is like, tell me what you know. Peppa Pig's like, hey man, just call me an ambulance. Which he doesn't get, he just dies there. And Cartman's Barbershop Quartet. That was brilliant. Just like the songs, I would buy an album with the songs that Barbershop Quartet sing. And before I forget, in this episode there was another great song. Like when you went to the nursing home shots, there was this like rap song in the background about life in the nursing home jail. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I need to go and find it. But yeah, great episode. The topic that it covered, the drug issue, I urge people to go and look at it. There's a great documentary that was released a few weeks ago by Louis Theroux on the BBC. Go and watch it. It is mind-blowing. There's an area in America, Huntington, 1 in 4 people is a heroin addict. The whole place is a wreck, and the system does nothing to help them, which is crazy. So people, especially in America, look at this issue. Force your people that control your country to do something about it, because they're not doing anything just now, and the doctors have turned a ton of people into junkies. But this episode was great, so let's finish with a smile. Let's finish with a smile. That was my barbershop. I'm pretty good at it. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more South Park, and I will see you all later.